A couple months ago, I did a video called the top 10 shoes between $300 and $500. The idea was to keep making these videos so I cover all sorts of different price points. Well, this is the second iteration. This one is called the top 7 shoes between $500 and $1,000. Or should it be the top 7 shoes between $501 and $1,000? So if a shoe is $500, does it fall in the category of the $300 to $500 or the $500 to $1,000? Yo, what up? My name is Vladimir Riché from ChaseandRider.com, and in this video we're gonna talk about the top 7 shoes between $501 and $1,000. Number 7 is a newcomer to the game. It's from a company from Singapore called Yosol. Yosol is a menswear store that recently started their own shoe brand back in January of this year. The line is called Y. Once again, Yosol is a company out of Singapore, but the shoes are made in China. Yosol is currently making some of the most beautiful shoes in the industry under $1,000. At the time of this recording, their shoes retail for $575. Which is an unbelievable price for the way that these shoes look. These shoes are handmade with really beautiful design. When Yosol was first introduced, they had 3 different lasts. The first one is called the YLB, which is their round last. The second one is called the YC8, which is their chisel last. And lastly, they had the YSQ, which was their soft square last. Since then, they've actually introduced like 3 or 4 other lasts to go with the original 3. Also, they released their new MTO program where you can actually select exactly how you want your shoes to look. Believe it or not, the MTO program is only $660, which is a really small upcharge compared to their regular price of $575. You can only get Y by Yosol directly from their website. Now, sizing can be a bit tricky since they have numerous lasts and they are a new brand, but their customer service is excellent, where they're very active on their thread on Style Forum and also by email and social media. Number 6, Joe Works. That name doesn't really sound Japanese, but that's exactly where they're from. Joe Works is another new company out of Japan. Now, when I say new, they've been around for a couple of years. Their shoes retail for $565 and they're Goodyear welted. I actually own one of their shoes on the Zero Last. It's a punch cap toe, and the Zero Last is very well designed. I bought them from a retailer called the Sabbath out of Sweden. I'll link it in the descriptions below. Joe Works make very beautiful shoes and they come at number 6. Number 5 is Crockett Jones. C&J is one or 2 brands on this countdown that's from England. England is one of the countries that's been producing nice shoes for years and years. In the case of Crockett Jones, they've been around since 1879 out of Northampton, England. C&J is Goodyear welted. Their shoes start around $640. Now, as far as last, this is where it can get a little bit confusing because C&J has about 20 lasts to choose from. Most of their lasts are round, but they all have some slight variation to them. One thing about C&J, their shoes are really classics. They don't really push the envelope too much when it comes to designs, but you don't go to Crockett Jones if you're looking for a design that's really different. So if you're looking for something classy, it doesn't get any more timeless than Crockett Jones. Coming in at number 4 is Gaziano Gerling. Now, G&G is on the opposite end of the spectrum compared to Crockett Jones, but they're both hailed from England. Now, you might be asking yourself, aren't Gaziano Gerling shoes over $1,000? And you'd be right, as they retail for around $1,200. But recently, Gaziano Gerling came out with an entry-level line called the Classic range, starting at $715. You can expect similar quality compared to their more expensive line. The biggest difference you're going to find is the lines aren't as sharp. The options is also what sets them apart. The entry-level line only has 5 different styles, with the most popular being the Beta, which is a semi-brogue, and the Churchill, which is a punch cap. As far as last, they only have 2. They have the R18, which is their round last, and the S45, which is their square last. So if you always wanted to try Gaziano Gerling but didn't want to drop $1,200 on a pair of shoes, right now is your chance to get one around $715. Number 3 is Antonio Macariello. Antonio makes some of the most beautiful shoes under $1,000. The shoes are hand welted and start at $550. Now, they do have 3 different lines. They have the Argentum, they have the Argentum ready to wear, and they have the Aurum. The Aurum is the top of the line. They don't really carry that style off the rack. Antonio Macariello got 6 lasts to choose from. They range anywhere from a round last to a chisel last and everything in between. Antonio is very passionate about his craft, and I really recommend his shoes. We've been in contact by email, and I'm looking forward to having one of his shoes soon. Number 2 on this countdown is also from Italy, and they're one of my favorite makers of all time, and that's Enzo Banoffee. If you're not new here, you know that I've featured their shoes on the channel a couple of times. Enzo Banoffee is by far one of my favorite favorite makers. They could have easily been number one. One thing that I love about Enzo Banoffee is all the different styles that they have. They also have numerous lasts to choose from. One common denominator with most of their lasts is the end step is usually pretty high. For a guy like me that has a high end step, that's always a welcome addition. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but it does work for me, so I love that, you know what I'm saying? Two of their most popular lasts is the 946, which is like a soft square to chisel last, and they also have the 804, which is a round last. But once again, they have numerous lasts to choose from. Their shoes retail for $550 and they are handmade. Enzo Banoffee has been around since 1963. Enzo Banoffee makes some really beautiful shoes with great quality leather. They also use really nice suede. It's just a really nice brand. I can go the rest of my life only wearing Enzo Banoffee shoes and I'll be a very happy guy, you know what I mean? So I highly recommend Enzo Banoffee. Many different retailers carry them. I usually get my shoes from Skotigbolaget out of Sweden, but plenty of different retailers carry Enzo Banoffee. Enzo Banoffee is one of my favorite shoemakers ever, if not my favorite. Just for a quick recap, number 7 was Y by Yosol, number 6 was Joe Works, number 5 was Crockett Jones, number 4 was Gaziano Gerling, the classic line, number 3 was Antonio Mercariello, number 2 was Enzo Banoffee, and number 1, Vash Budapest. This shouldn't be a surprise to you. I've talked about Vash Budapest shoes plenty of times on this channel. One of them was an Old English 2 in gold museum calf, and the second one is a black cap to Oxford. Vash shoes retail for around $500. Their most popular last is the F last, which is their round last. They also have a U last, which is like a soft square, and they also have the K last, which is their chisel last. The F last, as I've mentioned plenty of time on this channel, is one of the most beautiful lasts there is. It's a classic round last with very nice proportions. Vash is Hungarian and been around since 1978. Their shoes are handmade as opposed to Goodyear welted. JR soles is at the top of the line when it comes to soles. Their soles usually last about twice as long as most other soles, and they come standard with all Vash shoes. Vash makes some really beautiful shoes, and starting at around $500, they're really tough to beat. Now, there are a few retailers that carry Vash, but the great thing about it is you can buy it directly from their website. A couple years ago, there was no such thing. You have to go to different retailers and pay like a markup just to get them. Like some retailers in the States sell their Vash shoes for around $750, but now you can go directly to Vash without having to go to a third party, which is awesome. Vash can be a little bit tricky as far as the sizing, as not all their lasts really work for everybody, but that's really no different for most shoemakers. But that's just something to be mindful of. Oh, by the way, let me know how you feel about the new set, man. If you've been here from the beginning, you know that most of my videos were shot on the couch. But now I'm on the desk, I feel like it's a better look, especially with unboxing and everything, you know what I mean? But let me know in the comments how you feel about it. If you do prefer the couch is not completely gone. I'll still be making some videos from there every now and then. But I think for the most part, I prefer the desk. But yeah, let me know how you feel, or if you didn't even notice, you know what I'm saying? Like some people might not even notice, like. So that was my video on the top 7 shoes between $501 and $1,000. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe, or everybody gonna think that you're a hater. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.